times in a row, that's a repeat. You in the cause they easy. I'm in the freezy. She got a she let me.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. Today, we'll see a team that can get it done on the ground. The Vikings are top 10 in rushing TDs. They'll go up against a Lions defense that needs to be ready for that. With that, it's time to hook up with our commentators in the booth as we turn it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, it's one of the new jewels of the NFL, no doubt, as you get a look inside U.S. Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games.
And the way they played last week defensively, you look at the tape, it looks like they had extra guys on the field, and they thoroughly shut down that offense.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, we're in November now, so this is where you really need to settle in, start getting down to business.
And in baseball, they talk about the dog days of August. November, these are the dog days of football, trying to get in position for the big push.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. At a glance here at their quarterback, standing 6'3". Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Time to feature the offensive starters and to give some love to the tight end, Kyle Rudolph.
He's been to the Pro Bowl already, battled a few injuries, but he's back and better than ever. Has added a little yoga to his regimen in order to make him more nimble. That makes it that much harder for the defenders to catch him.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. From the gun, Kent, and complete, right side, the tight end Rudolph. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
They'll run it. Here's Cook, and he'll get this only up to about the 35. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down. On 4th down on now is the lefty Ryan Allen to punt. Back deep is the former Seahawk, Golden Tate. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. On the return, it's Tate. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. Carry here for Orleans Darkwa. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. second down following the run. They'll run again now with Darkwan. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up a third down. Great job defensively. Stretched it out, got the tackle for loss. He had 2 TFLs last week, by the way.
Yeah, what you're describing right there is a player who can set the edge well. You always hear that, meaning he's not getting hooked by an offensive lineman or a tight end, not getting turned inside on the blocking, able to keep his outside arm free, string the play out so there's nowhere for the back to turn up. Then he gets to him and makes the play.
Throwing on third down, Stafford. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Yeah, last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Fielded just inside the 30. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, got the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
He'll take this from the 40 up to the 45 for a gain of 5. And now the Lions' defensive starters.
When you talk about pure speed on the corner, you have to talk about Darius Slay, because this guy in high school, 100-meter, 200-meter state champ, he can flat out run. The thing he's looking to increase, takeaways. Only 7 takeaways in his last 4 seasons. He wants to live up to his nickname, which is Big Play Slay.
So we've got a 2nd and 5. Off the play fake. Kent. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he's brought down. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
First down, here's the run with Cook. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35. Simply not much more you can ask out of your running back. Over 100 yards and the 3 touchdowns.
And for an old coot like me, I loved it because he did it on the ground. A running back taking control of the game. That's what I like to see.
Hold on. An old coot?
Coot, C-O-O-T.
All right, I'll look that up later. Here we go with 2nd and 7. Again, it's Cook. And an alley to run. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Relatively small sample size, but that's his longest run of the first quarter. Bounced it out to the outside to make it successful.
And to get there, you actually need some help. It's not just your pure speed getting to the corner, making sure that the blocking is taken care of inside so the pursuit doesn't get you. And oftentimes, those wide receivers, tight ends that might be flexed out, they've got to control the edge and make sure no one from the outside can spill the play before he gets there.
So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it could be tipped up and picked off.
Off play action. Kent. And his throw's going to be incomplete. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. To throw on third down. Kent. It's caught by Treadwell. Well, he's taken down, but not before picking up the first thanks to a flashy little spin move. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
They go play action here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Jarrad Davis. Not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on first and goal. Instead, the defense...
And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have taken a first quarter lead.
Well, that's what I call an answer right there. They gave up a sack on the previous play. How about what they did to finish things off, turning it right back around?
That's the response, and that O-line feels a lot better now, don't they?
Yeah, without a doubt, because give up the sack and... previous play, that just hurts those guys because they never want to see their guy get hit.
Sebastian Janikowski on for the PAT. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. Out to kick is Janikowski. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Everson Griffin in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. So a first quarter sack, and remember, keep in mind, he had 2 sacks in last week's game.
And it's always intriguing to me to watch these great pass rushers because some of them, they need their teammates to scheme for them. Maybe occupy people and make it a one-on-one matchup. Other guys, they just defeat everything in front of them. To get 2 sacks in a game, it's a little bit of both for you.
Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. He was trying to find Marvin Jones that time. And that'll make it third down. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Some boos coming down right now from this home crowd after that call.
Yeah, and that was because of the pass interference call. But for a second there, I thought maybe they'd gotten a look at my appearance as Othello in the high school play.
You were Othello?
Not a good one, let me tell you.
On the run, Darkwan looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, second down. And if you're the defense and those D tackles, you like that they're trying to run the football here against your 4-3, don't you?
Yeah, because they tend to eat things up because they are so strong and physical, and especially when they play with leverage where they get lower than the offensive lineman and control them. And what I love about the good defensive tackles, they can play over the guards, they can slide and play over the center. Nobody in the offense likes that day when they have to deal with those guys.
And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Now it's Stafford, and they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And this will be covered up. Pretty good result. It'll be down at the 14-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. Last week, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. We were talking with him on the field before the game. He said simply, I was in a groove. He obviously was.
And I think he's been a little modest about that, being in a groove. That's a big-time game right there. And I think he feels like his entire team is coming along with him because they're creating spaces and holes for him to run through. He's making people miss, running through tackles. They are locked in a big way and confident about this game as well.
He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And all of a sudden here, it's third down.
Yeah, and that was a safety that came through and made the play, but there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball in this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
Here's Ryan Allen now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. Now it's Tate. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt, and the Lions will take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. And this is their third drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down.
And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a second drive, no first down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up?
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 19 carries, 96 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or maybe change up how you establish your run game. Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one. Now
Darkwan. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Here's Darkwa. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
Yes, indeed. That play there, that reminds me of some of the guys that I played with that have that suddenness, able to get into the backfield almost about the time the ball snapped.
Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2, but likely not for long as they're in punt formation to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And you can't do it much better than that. This ball kicks out of bounds at the 4-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota.
They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Cook, and an alley to run. And a cut. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. 30. 20, 10, 5, and he takes it down deep into enemy territory. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 93 yards. Get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so. One of my favorite coaches, you say, son, if you could darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
Losing 3, and now it's 3rd down. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
A big play to start the drive got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's 3rd and goal.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
Looking to throw. Kent. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. Now Janikowski for the field goal try. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And the kick for the 41-year-old is up and good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. They had a long way to go. They started that drive at their own 3, and they scored 3 from it.
What an excellent job by an offense that could have very easily just said, okay, let's just take a few plays safe, punt the ball away, and play some defense. Instead, they found a way to attack and put themselves in position to put points on the board.
Now after the made field goal, here's Sebastian Janikowski to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. An update from Buffalo. And the Bills have now opened up a 2-touchdown lead. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. And Detroit getting set to go now. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
Now a play fake here on first down. Throw left side complete. It's Lee. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He finds an opening past the 40. And a cutback right sideline. Past the 20. Touchdown, Detroit. Orleans Darkwa with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Lions strike quickly here for 6 points. And with his speed, if he just finds the slightest crease, he can take it the distance like he did there.
How about the leverage up front? Offensive line out leveraging the defensive front to create that space, that crease that he was looking for. And once he hits open field, he's going to be very difficult to catch and corral.
And they're back within a field goal. It's 10-7 now. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And the long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. Martin, the punter, now out to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
Let's stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent. The blocking's been terrific. And obviously his vision and legs have hurdled him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here. Dalvin Cook is running back, the intended target. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
There's so much precision in an offense, especially when you're throwing the ball. And in an out route, plenty of it. How about the quarterback hitting his back foot, ball's out of his hands, receiver making his break, making his cut. He's got to time up perfectly. Not always easy to do.
Just let him a little too much.
Yeah, I remember back in the good old days, I was talking to a quarterback, and he said everything they did was on the count system. So when he took a snap, he counted in his head for certain routes, different time frames for each one, and he knew if the ball wasn't out of his hand at that point, he'd better eat it because the play was dead.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10.
All right, here we go. Green, 39. Green.
Operating from the gun. Kent. Starting quickly here, and that's complete. And I think the ball's out, and this is scooped up by the Lions.
They make so many catches that are so tough, so acrobatic, so difficult, that often surprises me when they actually turn the ball over. You know, when the ball actually comes free. It's amazing sometimes because of what we see them do on so many different plays.
Had the catch, but couldn't control it on the contact. Well, look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat, make sure he touches it a few times. But as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. He's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up? Big boys down there in the trenches, and a nice play to stop a bold nothing there.
Yeah, when you talk about big boys, you're talking about those defensive tackles, those nose tackles. They're not just big, they're immense. And what a big-time play there.
To throw on second down is Stafford. Ebron with it over the middle. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets them up 1st and goal.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
They'll run with Darkwa. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Orleans Darkwa with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Lions are in for 6. A 2nd quarter score from down in Houston. And the early going, it's the Texans out in front. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. And that makes it 14-10. Martin, the punter, now out to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And Charles, you can't really fault him. He's over 100 yards already. He's not the reason they're losing.
And that is really unusual because ordinarily when you've set the tone this way and have run it this effectively, usually your team's in control. So it's a very strange situation. And you're right, you can't fault him. He's done a great job for his team thus far.
I'm guessing he's saying a big seam, and he might go all the way. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. 79 yards. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. They blitzed defensively there, but he was able to slip through that first layer, and then he was gone.
I think they won the leverage game, didn't they?
Yes.
Right? They saw the blitz coming. That got to him a little bit, but they leveraged it perfectly and found not just a crease, a gigantic hole. And off he goes, and he's still going all the way to the end zone.
Janikowski now for the point after. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. Out to kick is Janikowski. This fielded at the 2. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there.
And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, with the kind of half he's had, I think we can forgive him that run, right? Not every run's going to be a big play, is it?
No, and also the blocking just wasn't there. No room to run.
Yeah, defensively, they got to find a way to build on that because he's eating them alive in the first half.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
The Lions on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 10.
From the gun, here's Stafford. And that is incomplete.
Wasn't it fun in pregame standing downstairs and watching Matthew Stafford throw the football? I mean, that bad boy just whistled.
He can just rock it.
It just whistled by us, didn't it? But what is the one knock on him? Accuracy.
Yeah.
And that's what we just saw there, an incompletion on that throw downfield.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. This is taken at the 15 and able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. He hasn't had his best day. They have been good running the football, and they have the lead, though, so maybe he just personally wants to improve his play.
And that's without a doubt, because at the end of the game, he wants to feel like he had a really good hand in his team winning, if in fact they do go on and get that done. But the bottom line is finding a way to win the game. So if you're not playing that well, but somebody else is on the team, keep going to that hot hand.
Yeah, not over yet, but looking good here in the second quarter. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
On second down, Cook. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down and 6.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6.
Hurry up, here we go.
From the gun, Kent. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
This is taken at the 23. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Second quarter in Cleveland, and it's the Browns out to the early advantage. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. They run the counter now on 1st down. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
And they'll run it here. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
That's just running the ball 101 because too much east-west, not enough north-south. Got to get upfield, don't you?
They just kept stringing him out before he knew it. He had hit the sideline. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Out of the gun, Stafford. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. A solid run on 1st down, gain of 7, leaves them with a 2nd and 3. So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. More from Minneapolis after this. A reminder with halftime approaching, when we get there, we'll ship you off to Orlando. Larry Ridley will have first half highlights and analysis.
And I hope he's iced down his throat because he's got a lot to get through because we've got no shortage of points scored in the first half.
It has been a fun track meet. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. Here it's 3rd and 3. They run it again with Cook. And he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Here's Ryan Allen now. He's been terrific so far. On the return, it's Tate. So possession goes over here on the punt. 2nd quarter in Cleveland. And it's the Ravens that have moved out to an early advantage. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. First down, Stafford here. And it's a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. On 1st and 10, Kent. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Kerry Hyder in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get it behind the line. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
All right, here we go. Boom,
Operating from the gun, Kent. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown, out of his reach, and incomplete. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And they stretch the lead to 6. It's 20-14 now. So they recover the fumble in plus position, but they can't go anywhere. In fact, they go backwards, but they do get a field goal out of it.
They'll take the 3, but in a lot of ways, they feel like they let themselves down by not capitalizing, and they definitely let the defense down for getting the key turnover.
And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. Now they try the right side here. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Elsewhere, a score update from New Orleans, and it's an early lead there for the Saints. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. Second down to the offense in search of 6 yards. From the gun, Stafford. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. Now a signal and a timeout call, as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. First and 10, Stafford. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. So we've reached halftime here in Minnesota with the Vikings on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando as we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Okay, Brandon, thanks, and welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get to the highlights. The Vikings are happy to be sitting in the locker room with a lead. The Lions didn't play their best, and they'll need to be at their best now to come back. All right, let's roll the highlights. Vikings with the ball midway through the first. Diggs has got the reception, and it's caught for the score as they get out to a 7-0 lead. Lions with the ball early in the second. He'll break free of the pack, and he'll run it in from 71 yards out, cutting the deficit to 3. Now after the fumble, he'll jet out to the right on the run, and this 2-play drive goes for a TD. They're now on top by 4. 1st and 10. Cook's going to spin away, and he'll win the sprint to the end zone. They go ahead by 3. Lions have it late in the second. He'll cough up the ball after the catch. From our EA Sports Studios, time to get you back up to Minneapolis as we rejoin Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
This is fielded at the goal line. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. A second quarter score from down in Houston. And the early going, it's the Texans out in front. And we'll try and keep you updated on those events and others around the league as we continue through this one. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
Here's Stafford now on second down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. The Lions on third down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Here's Stafford. This is Riddick on the screen. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Losing 4 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. They juked him. So a change of possession here on the punt. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we've got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Off the play fake. Kent. He's going to look deep down the field. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
Pass interference. Defense.
This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
Cook following the penalty. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Partner, I think there's a lesson there. Some days you're just having a really tough time, and for the defense, today has been that day. But after that play, what do you learn? You can still make plays even when the other guy's having success against you.
Handoff comes to Cook. An agile move, but not a huge gain. Dropped at the 25. 3 yards on the pickup there, and they've got it back to 3rd and 10.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd and 10. Operating from the gun. Kent. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. From the left hash, this from 37. And Janikowski bangs it through, and that will make this a 9-point lead. So that one is his 3rd of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So here come the Lions now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
You know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Stafford on 1st down. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 7 yards there on the 1st down screen play. And quickly they get to the line. And they give this time to the tailback. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Making now 3 tackles for a loss in this game, 1 for each quarter.
And for a guy who played defense in college, I can just tell you that he's feeling very satisfied right now by what he's doing. But he's elated because he knows what he's doing is helping his team win the game right now. Making some big-time plays, getting into the offense's backfield and spilling everything.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. Hard throw, incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
Throwing on 1st down. Kent is going to flip one out here to his running back. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out by a few inches. That'll be a 1st down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
A give. This is Cook. And an alley to run. And he's able to get it all the way down to the 20. A big play there for Minnesota. 59 yards on the ground. One of the reasons that this team is on this win streak, big runs like that.
When you see runs like that, broken off, you know this is a team that's confident running the football. A big reason why this streak has occurred, they've come together, had a plan, and stuck to it. And when you get big-time runs like that, it makes it easier to stay with it, doesn't it?
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
That drive was quick and impressive. Almost like they had somewhere else they needed to be after the game.
Back to throw. Kent, incomplete. Tough there. Good pass. Hit the hands. He just couldn't bring it in.
And every receiver's coach everywhere. Seeing that play, focus, focus, focus. Watch it all the way in and tuck it away.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Almost unstoppable on the ground there as that one is good for 39.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. First run for the backup, Abdullah. Trying to turn the corner, but he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
While there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
First throw now for the backup, Kaya. It's complete to Golden Tate. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this down for about 4 yards, down to the 15.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks, allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
To throw on second down is Kaya. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that at just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
Throwing on third down, Kaya. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And fortunately, he's able to reel it back in, but it's going to go down as a big loss here on the play.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So it's a 7-play drive, but it stalls out in the end.
Let's credit the defensive front 7. They were a little leaky at the start of the drive, but they stiffened toward the end.
Now it's Martin to do the honors after the made field goal. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. They start the drive with Cook. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
So while the offense has had a big day, no one on that side of the ball is excited about seeing a loss like that. Their goal, to make every play positive. And when you have a bad one like that, your next goal is to not let it spiral into more.
Now a run with Cook. Cook stripped, the ball's out, and this is scooped up by the Lions. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
And there's a nice stop for the defense. They've had a tough time containing this guy all game long, but maybe they can build a little bit off of that play, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum. Yeah, every now and then you can actually tackle that guy.
Now a handoff looking right. And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
And that's one of the few times they've been able to contain him. He's had a heck of a game, and maybe he's getting a little bit tired from how many times he's carried the ball. But I always think back to what all those old coaches say. The ball's not that heavy. Keep carrying it, kid.
From the gun on 3rd, Kaya. And that is incomplete.
Saw man coverage on the perimeter, and that was a pretty good throw. It was one of those ones that wasn't an easy catch, but it's one that he thinks that he should have come down with, although I'm sure the opposing cornerback would beg to differ.
And this one is right down Broadway. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So they had great field position, but a 3-play drive that actually goes backwards, and then they kick the field goal.
And I think the key sequence in there, the key phrase you just gave us, a 3-play drive. Had the momentum, great field position, unable to move the football.
And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And you see Dalvin Cook in the offense heading back out. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone. And now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage. And, again, that second score here in the 3rd quarter. And not a whole lot doing there, so he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out. But a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, it's hard to get them started again occasionally.
The Vikings on 3rd down. A pretty anemic, a very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Back now at beautiful new U.S. Bank Stadium. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. The Vikings on 3rd down. A pretty anemic, a very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Looking to throw. Kent. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Now Kaya to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's 2nd down.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Here's Kaya. And he fires one incomplete. Golden Tate, his intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. And the Vikings with an extra defender in the secondary on 3rd.
Playing coverage here.
Kaya off play action. And now another one thrown incomplete. I don't know. He had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him some credit.
Well, I'm thinking about the mental focus, you know?
Yeah.
The mental focus.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to stay with it.
That's true. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The
leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bithema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. They run. Cook. He takes this from the 30 to the 34. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Third down, Dalvin Cook. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, and sometimes that just happens. It is the NFL. They will make some plays against you.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken at about the 14. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's already hit pay dirt twice. He's up over 100 yards. He is feeling good.
And he's just zipping along today. Everything coming together for him. It's that type of a day that you see a back just kind of have a grin on his face every time his number is called. Because he doesn't feel like there are going to be any lost yardage plays. Nothing but big-time positive runs.
Making the sideline grin as well. On 1st and 10, Kaya caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll give it here to his running back. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
But he was stopped on that play. We've had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
The Lions on 3rd down. An almost unimaginable 0 for 10 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Time running out here on the play clock. Back to throw, Kaya. And Kaya unable to escape. Emerson Griffin in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And here now the punter, Martin, booming this one away. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Checking in on Houston. It's in the 4th quarter there. Now you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And if they could hold on to that lead, it would be win number 4 on the season for them. On the carry, it's Cook. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Brandon, it's all about pace and tempo now for them. They've got the advantage, so I'm going to put musical terms for you. You don't want to go prestissimo. That's too quick, too lively, right? But you also don't want to slow it down too much. You don't want to go lento. What you really want to be is moderato. Nice and even, nice and steady, get those gains, and close out the game.
I think that chicken parm from last night's gone to your head. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Back to throw. Kent. He's going to float this one deep right side. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Darius Slay with a pick. Maybe he telegraphed it a little bit right there. You've got a quarterback knowing that he's going against a rookie quarterback. He stepped in and picked it.
You think he had a great week of preparation, looking forward to this opportunity? And the second part of that is, when you're a young quarterback, you are going to stare down targets, but oftentimes your playbook hasn't expanded to give you full field reads as well. Makes it a little bit tougher for him.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
And that'll be incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And on 2nd and 10 now. Now Kaya. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Green 39! Green 39!
Here's Kaya. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Nick Kwiatkowski in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Green 39! Green 39!
Desperation time for Kaya on 4th. And that is incomplete. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. Elsewhere in the NFL, they're in the 4th down in New Orleans. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd down now after the pass completion. Looking to throw. Kent. He'll find Thielen working the middle. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up 1st and goal. Here comes the D swarming to the line. They'll run with Cook. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. And this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. A nice run there as he picks up 6. It's going to be 3rd and goal now.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
They'll run for it with Cook. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
Did your high school have that same push them back cheer?
I was a kicker.
Well, it certainly worked. Didn't matter whether we were kickers or not. That one worked, didn't it? They pushed him back at the last snap of the ball, and boy, they created a nice play for themselves. Would they lose 3 on that one?
And from the 1 back to the 4. Elsewhere in the NFL, they're in the 4th down in New Orleans. And you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. If they can hold on to that lead to the end, it would up their win total to 7. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. So out now come the Lions. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Now Diaz. Back to the air on 2nd down. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. It's brought in left side by Tate. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. Did they maybe play that too safely on 3rd down? I know you don't want to just throw a ball blindly downfield, but that didn't help them a whole lot.
I think they probably said if it's open, take the shot. If not, get something safe because we do have 4th down to try and pick it up.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Desperation time for Stafford on 4th down. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none.
Yes, exactly right.
Now Cook, and he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach, he's in big trouble.
It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to face a 3rd down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
So that'll back him up 5. The offense behind the chains after the infraction. It's now 3rd down and 14. On the ground, it's Cook. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. And, well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. Now whistles and a timeout called here. Not sure of the point of this, but they'll stop it with 4 seconds to go in the game. And, well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. And this one a 41-yard attempt. And his kick is right there. It's good. They're all finished in that game in Cleveland. And it